Hi you guys, welcome to today's video. So today's video is sponsored by Ana Luisa Jewelry. So let me talk to you guys a little bit about Ana Luisa Jewelry. So Ana Luisa Jewelry is a jewelry brand that prides themselves on sustainably crafted jewelry. So what that means is that they make their jewelry in small batches. They're very mindful of how their manufacturing process affects the earth, which I love. And they also use recyclable materials whenever possible. So when it comes to like shipping, packaging their jewelry, and they're just very mindful about their business practices. So I've had the chance to try out some of their jewelry. And if you know me, you know I'm not really like a jewelry person, and if I am, I'm very picky. So for me to recommend a jewelry brand, I mean, that's pretty big. But I love their brand so much, and I've gotten to know some of the people over there, and they're all very kind and very helpful. So that's what I look for in a small business. I look for people that not only align with like my work ethic and my brand, which is, you know, clean, very mindful of like the earth, things of that nature. And just honest, but I also look for like the people working there to be the same. So I can wholeheartedly say that they are that. And I'm going to show you guys some of the pieces they sent me. Some of you guys had actually asked about the pieces in my Instagram stories because I wore it on our little staycation. So this is the piece that you guys actually asked me about. And it's funny because I never really wear on earrings except my gold studs, and even my mom, when she saw these, she was like, "Where are those from?" And I was like, "Why?" She goes, "They're so cute and you are very picky with jewelry." I was like, I know. So let me show you guys these. So I love it. I love thin, delicate, dainty pieces of jewelry that pop. It's really hard for me to find jewelry like that. So when I saw this piece, and this side's a little different, it's like a cute little star. So when I saw this piece, I was like, oh, this is one of the pieces that I have to have, because for me, it's so delicate. It doesn't like overpower my earlobe. And yeah, it looks so pretty on. So I love that. Another one of the pieces, this one is probably my favorite, only because it says mama. So obviously I'm a mama. So I love it because you can make it a choker, or you can make it a little bit longer in length. So I just wear it with my customized necklace down here that, you know, that has my kids' names on it. But I wear this. This necklace, as dainty as it is, it's heavy. You can tell that it's made really well, along with this like gold bracelet. So I'm gonna show you guys that up close. Move out of the way. There we go. It's so nice. And we're actually going on a Things We Do trip to Palm Springs this weekend, and I'm taking all these pieces with me because they fit the brand so well, and we're gonna have a photo shoot, and you better believe it, I'm gonna wear these pieces. And I think I love these earrings. So let me move out of the way. There we go. So it almost looks like a double hoop, but it's not. It's not actually like a double hoop. It's like a single that kind of morphs out into a double. So I'm excited. I want to get a second ear piercing, so that way I can wear these along with the other dainty pieces. But yeah, they're so cute, you guys. They are having a 20% off sale. So I did link it in the description box below, first thing in the description box. So that way, if you guys want to take advantage of their 20% off sale, you can. Honestly, for the quality that this jewelry is, Ana Luisa did a really good job of making the jewelry very fair when it comes to pricing. Some like online boutiques, they charge so much and it throws a lot of people off, but they kind of stuck to their commitment with making quality jewelry that's gold plated and pricing it very fair, so we can enjoy not just like one piece, but we can enjoy like multiple pieces of theirs. So yeah, I did link everything below for you guys. Check them out. Let me know how you guys like them. I love them. I'll be shouting these out on my Instagram again as well, because I know people were asking in the question box of where did I get these from. So Ana Luisa Jewelry, check them out, okay? So now that we're done talking about this beautiful jewelry, let's fix our hair. And now let's dive into today's video. So today's video might be a repetition for some of you guys, but a lot of you guys are asking questions that relate back to my video about the pros and cons of being an aesthetic nurse. Now, that part, I do have a mention of the pros and cons in my what I made as an aesthetic nurse video right here. I'll link it right here for you guys. But I'm gonna do another video about the pros and cons of being an aesthetic registered nurse, and I'll kind of do like a little updated one, and that way if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask below. I do have my content calendar coming out this week, you guys. Link below for my email subscription list, so that way you guys can be the first to get your hands on it. I'm probably gonna do a pre-sale on Wednesday. I haven't decided yet, but it's launching this Friday, August 20th, 2 days before my birthday at 10 a.m. So if you guys are trying to get into this field, go for it. My content calendar is gonna be there. But let's dive into this video. So let's talk about the pros of being an aesthetic registered nurse. So, and then I'll kind of go back and forth with like pro, but also maybe like a con, and kind of relate it back to like being like a bedside nurse or a nurse at a clinic. So one of the main pros of being an aesthetic registered nurse is flexibility with your schedule. Now, you could have the same flexibility if you work bedside. So if you work, 3 days a week, 12 hours a day, perfect. You have 4 days off. As an aesthetic registered nurse, I think there was only a brief period of time where I worked 5 days a week. I now work anywhere from 2 to 4 days a week, 3 being like my average. I work about 3 days a week. So I still have my 4 days off. So that's a really big pro. Another pro is I get to work less hours. Injecting for 12 hours is crazy. I mean, sometimes I've done it, but I work only 8 hours. So that's a huge pro for me because I'm not on my feet for 12 hours. I'm on my feet for 8 hours, and it honestly goes by so fast. And also I get to come home and hang out with my babies before bed. So that's a really, really big pro for me. Another pro of being an aesthetic registered nurse is that you get to meet so many new people. So sometimes in any field that you're in, you kind of get stagnant and you're kind of like, oh, well, what do I do next? With aesthetic registered nursing, there's so much you can do. You can go to conferences, you can go to, classes, you can go to seminars, and you get to meet so many new people. Like, this field is expanding so much, so quickly, that it's great because anyone coming into it, like, you're never gonna be bored, which is great. And then the burnout is not really there. I mean, I do know a few people who got into the aesthetic field like right out of nursing school, and they're kind of like over it, which is why I say, like, just make sure you want to be like a nurse for the purpose of being a nurse, if that makes sense. Like, not just to be an aesthetic registered nurse, because if you don't like aesthetic registered nursing and you have your nursing degree and then you're like, oh, I don't like this kind of nursing, I don't like nursing at all, it's kind of a waste of a degree. But that's besides the point. Let's do a few of the cons. So one of the cons of being an aesthetic registered nurse is that depending on where you work, you might not get benefits or retirement. So for instance, when I used to work at UCLA, I had benefits, I had health insurance, I had a retirement plan, 401k, I had a pension. Now, depending on where you work as an aesthetic registered nurse, some offices don't have that option for us. Some offices require you to have like an outside like retirement plan. They don't require it, but you have to do it. So you have to like take the initiative to find a retirement plan, and that you don't get the match that the hospital gives. So like when I used to work at UCLA, I think it was like you put in 4%, they matched 4% max. So depending on where you work, that is one of the cons, that you might not have a retirement plan to set you up. So that's something you have to think about on the outside, Another con is patience. So unless you're extremely lucky, which if this is you, you might be extremely lucky, but unless you're extremely lucky, you have to kind of work hard to get your patients. It's not always that the office that you'll be working at will hand you patients. You kind of have to get them on your own as well. This field is becoming so saturated, guys, and not to throw everyone off, but like there are a lot of people in this field now, and you have to go out there and kind of stand out from the rest. And I know you can do it, but just know it has to be done. Don't think that like an office is gonna just throw patients left and right your way and you're gonna have 3 full days of work. That's not really how it works anymore. You kind of have to, honestly, that wasn't really how it worked when I was in it as well, when I started off. You kind of have to go out there and hustle and get your own patient base. It's not impossible, but you can do it. I also have a video on how to grow your aesthetic portfolio, which I'll link right over here. I have a few tips that really worked for me. It takes work, but you can do it. So I guess that's kind of another con, is that even though you work less hours, the downside is you work a lot of outside hours. So like, you'll come home, technically you're off the clock, you're not at the clinic, you're not injecting, but you're going to be on social media. You have to be active on social media. You have to be writing back to emails, inquiries, etc., etc. And that's not time you get paid for. So unless you're lucky and your boss pays you that, which I mean, that's crazy, those are things you're doing on your own time and you're not getting paid for them. So to me, it's always been fun. I've always liked it, but it can get exhausting even for someone like me who loves social media. Well, I don't love it, but who loves like being creative on social media, should I say. I do get kind of burnt out sometimes, and then I'll take like a 2-3 day break from social media. Okay, so another pro of being an aesthetic registered nurse is that you can say bye-bye to those 12-hour shifts, like I said. Because you're working at a med spa or a plastic surgeon's office, chances are you'll start around 9-10 a.m. and be done by 5 or 6 p.m. So it's really great for those of you who have like little ones at home, and also who don't want to work holidays or work nights or all weekends. It's really great in that sense, because you can spend time with your family more. So that was a huge pro for me, because I love spending time with my family, and I really didn't like working nights or holidays. It broke my heart to be away from them. Okay, another con of being an aesthetic registered nurse is that if you have a buttload of school loans, you will not qualify for the public loan service forgiveness program. Now, if you're a registered nurse working at a hospital, there's other requirements that you have to meet, but if you work at a community hospital, you actually stand a better chance of qualifying for the public service loan forgiveness program. But if you're an aesthetic registered nurse, you won't be able to qualify for that. So if you have a lot of school loans, you really have to take into account what you make as an aesthetic registered nurse versus your monthly payment for school loans, and see if that's something you can swing if you were able to make the switch to becoming an aesthetic registered nurse full time. So another con of being an aesthetic registered nurse, and I really don't view this as a con, it's just more of a you have to go out and take initiative kind of thing. So when you're a bedside nurse, for instance, when I worked at UCLA, I got to go to all these classes, and I got paid to go to these classes. Like, there were classes that surgeons were talking at for 4 hours, and if I went, I got paid for 4 hours of my time, and I got CEUs. So when you're an aesthetic registered nurse, it's so different. You don't get paid to go to classes, you pay to go to classes. And it's kind of expensive, but like I've always told you guys, you have to think, when you're coming into this field, you have to think of it differently. You have to think of this field as, you have to believe in yourself. You have to, sorry, I thought I heard someone upstairs and it scared me. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to invest in yourself. So don't look at it as a con, really. Look at it more like you have to go out there, find these classes, and then pay, thousands of dollars for these classes annually. But that's okay, because you're bettering yourself and you're setting yourself apart from all the other people who want to be in this field. So you have to be hungry for it. You have to go out there and get it. So I wouldn't really call it a con. It's more of a con for people who aren't go-getters. So you have to be a go-getter in this field, you guys, or else you're never gonna make it. How cute is this cup? I use it so much it got worn out, but it says Nurse Janet G. My sister-in-law got it for me. Just need some latte. Okay. All right. So let's dive into another pro of being an aesthetic registered nurse. So another pro is that, first of all, you have to be a registered nurse, nurse practitioner, PA, MD. But if you are an aesthetic registered nurse and you choose to, you can open up your own med spa. Now, there's a lot of other legality behind it that I'm not going to go into, but you do need a medical director, and that person does need to be, I think, 51% owner. But if you find a medical director that you trust, they can be your medical director and oversee a lot of the things, but you can technically be your own kind of business owner, which is amazing. That's great. If that's something you want to do, go for it. Just make sure you do it the right way, okay? one more con of being an aesthetic registered nurse is that if you work at a hospital, if you're just a bedside registered nurse, then you most likely have a salary or you get paid hourly. If you're an aesthetic registered nurse, chances are you might get paid hourly, but you also might get like a bonus or commission based on how many patients you see. Some people do, some people don't. It's varied at so many of the places that I've worked. But if you're not an established injector and you do work off of a bonus, then that could really hurt you pay wise. So when you are interviewing, make sure to ask these questions. I do have a video on like interviews and tips for that, so I'll link that up here for you guys. But these are questions you should be asking during an interview, because like I said, if you're barely starting out and you really have no patient base, it might be more beneficial for you to work hourly versus work off of a bonus, or a small hourly plus a bonus, so that way you can work your way up to making something that's comparable to what you would make bedside. So I think that's very important. These are all just things you guys need to be aware of. That's it for this video of the pros and cons of being an aesthetic registered nurse. I just wanted to get down to like the most popular questions that you guys asked, and I hope I answered them. If you guys have any questions, ask below. If they're ridiculous, I'll let you know they're ridiculous, but that's okay. Like always, you guys, like and subscribe to my channel below. Please show me support, show me comments, show me a heart that you watched this video. Give it a thumbs up. Like I said, this video is sponsored by Ana Luisa Jewelry. I did put their link in the description box below. Get yourself some cute little pieces. Tag me on Instagram at NurseJanetG. Let me know how you guys like them. I love them, so you'll be seeing me wearing them all summer and fall, maybe even going into winter. But like I said, as always, subscribe to my channel below. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. I have a lot of fun videos coming for you guys, including a video with one of our estheticians at the things we do. I'm so excited. And then, like I said, my content calendar is coming out this week. Email subscription box below. I'll also be launching it on my Instagram at NurseJanetG. Go take a look. I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.